My name is Keith and I'll be 68 this year.
Keith, why did you purchase the iMRS PEMF system?
I purchased it because, as a last resort, I was trying things like acupuncture and physiotherapy, and it wasn't curing what I had in my back, which was a bad L3, L4 facet joint, which turned into an actual bulging disc. And so with the treatment that I was getting, it wasn't working. And it was costing me a lot of money to have sort of also needles put into me. So therefore I thought, what's the next best thing? And so I ended up investigating the PEMF as well as the actual machine that it's put out with, and so far had good results. It's actually working and I'm feeling a lot better for it.
And Kate, how many iMRS treatments did it take before you noticed an improvement in your condition?
I was actually using it for about a week to start with. I was using it twice a day, and within that week I started to notice the pain was starting to go. I was getting more solid sleep, which I hadn't had for a number of years. I was getting very deep sleeps, which is very good for me. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm full of energy and I feel like I've had a very good night's rest.
And Kate, what benefits have you received from using the iMRS system?
So far, the benefits of not only the L3, L4 disc starting to ease the pain of the bulging disc, but I noticed on the last MRI I was starting to get osteoarthritis, and since using the machine after 3 weeks, I don't feel like there's any creaking or cracking in my bones. Wake up in the morning and it feels like someone's actually put Teflon coating all through or lubricated all my facet joints, because from my neck down to my legs, there's no creaking and cracking, and so I'm feeling very smooth. It's very smooth running, so to speak.
And apparently you also suffer from tinnitus, is that right?
Yeah, I did suffer from tinnitus, and it was so bad. It was like 1,000 cicadas sitting in a tree beside my ears, and it was interfering with the other sounds around. So I noticed by using the pillow, it has actually decreased after a period of probably 3 weeks. It's now decreased down to 25% of what it was. So I'm hoping it'll disappear. Some days I wake up and I cannot hear tinnitus at all. So obviously it's working very effectively.
Apparently you also suffer from carpal tunnel in your wrist, Keith, right? What happened there?
I did have carpal tunnel on both wrists. After working so long and typing sort of reports and things, I started to get this carpal tunnel, and they operated on my left hand, even though it was just as bad on my right. Only the symptoms were occurring on the left. When they operated, they fixed that carpal tunnel, and the symptoms since that operation 4 years ago, the carpal tunnel in my right hand is starting to show irritation and show symptoms. But since using the actual probe on the iMRS system, within a couple of weeks, all my carpal tunnel, there's no symptoms in my right hand, and the symptoms that were starting to come back in my left have also disappeared. So I've got no pain at all in both hands.
Keith, apparently you tell me that your memory has also improved.
It seems to improve. Yes, it has. I think using the actual pillow for my tinnitus has actually stimulated whatever activities are in the brain, and I've noticed that my thinking is clearer. I can actually remember things better than I used to remember. Not that I had a really bad memory, but it was starting to go. I started to think, now I'm not getting as good a results as I can when I remember things. So my memory is actually getting very good, and my clear thinking, I'm more clear thinking than what I have been for a number of years.
Keith, are there any more benefits you've noticed while using the iMRS system?
As a matter of fact, yes. Now I'm on blood pressure tablets, and I'm a diabetic, type 2, so I'm on medication for that as well. But since using the machine, I've only been using it for the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've noticed my blood pressure is going down, and my blood sugar levels are also going down.
Are you happy then with your investment in your iMRS system?
Yes, I thought initially the investment was very expensive, But if I was going to have other treatments over a number of years, it would probably exceed the amount that I would be paying for this machine. So this device is a long-term thing, and I'll be using it consistently for the rest of my life. I think it's the best investment I've ever had.